On your feet! Get them going!
I forgot to add myself again. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Cross Examinations Live today. Hashtag Creative Christian. I have rebranded my main channel, which used to be Blacklist Universe. I rebranded it just to Mike S. Miller Art, and I have repurposed. I've repurposed it more or less to the end goal of encouraging people of faith to use their creative gifts in furtherance of the kingdom, in furtherance of moving the culture, and just look. God is the creator. He has elevated us above all the rest of creation, because we're creative. I've seen an elephant paint. Hold on a second. Let me. I forgot to share this on the Discord to let people know. Oops. Now it's live. Dang it. Sorry. My computer's super slow, so anytime I click anything, it just lags and drags. I need a new computer, honestly. Oh my gosh, I can't even get to the. This is so embarrassing. Okay. Pause. Shh. Shush me. All right. And everyone. By the way, Discord link is not where it should be. Gosh darn it. So I apologize, but hopefully somebody will get in there and drop the Discord link in the chat. Kurt Fasci, what's going on with your Lone Star series? When is it shipping or being refunded? Thanks. I'm hoping. I know this is a terrible message. You've heard it a few times. I'm hoping it will. I'll be able to fulfill that soon. I'm already 78 pages. 78 pages into the next Lone Star book. So I can't do anything with that until I fulfill the first. So it's not that like I've given up on fulfilling Lone Star. And I'm continuing to work on it. I just need certain things to fall in place so that I can fulfill the previous campaign. So I am, fingers crossed, hopefully going to be able to do that sooner than later. Are you selling on Kickstarter or Indiegogo still? No, I'm not on Kickstarter or Indiegogo right now, Peter. It is on Fund My Comic. I don't promote it. You can order it, but like I just said, I'm in a stage of hoping to be able to fulfill it soon. So I can't make any promises on when that's going to be fulfilled. I promise it will be fulfilled unless I die. That's the only thing that's going to stop that from being fulfilled is if I die. Hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. Although I did just have a stroke, so fingers crossed. But I will be soon. I have this Maya Farr book. It's the Calvin and Hobbes version of I just use that as a stylistic choice of the Gospels. So it's the story of Christ. It's the gospel accounts from beginning to end, told in a wordless, in other words, just a storyboard form, in a Calvin and Hobbes kind of style. So that will be coming out sooner than later. I'll be announcing that soon. Hello, Erica. Hello, DJ. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, so that's Peter says, heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah. I can't wait because really that's a ministry for me. I don't even care. So we're gonna have it set up so that you can actually donate books to churches or to ministries. Um, I can't say who yet. I should. You'll know. It'll be soon. But you'll be able to donate books to ministries so people can get it out there and just get the gospel out. And I won't make a dime on any of that. And I'm hoping that's the vast majority of the sales on the book is just donations to ministries because this has always been a ministry. I started working on Afar. Oh my gosh. I think it was, God, was it 10 years ago? Has this been a decade in the making? Hold on a second. Let me check my Dropbox and see what the earliest. Dropbox should have the metadata that says, oh, here's nobody's business. I have my Dropbox open already. You guys want to see some of my nobody's business pages? Like I said, I've got 78 pages done on this thing. That's the next Lone Star series. Love that you're using your God-given talent to spread his message. Thank you. And I'm here to encourage. Am I locking up? I'm here to encourage others to do that exact same thing. We all have talents, right? And a lot of us are creative talents. Look, we can't all be. We all have time, talent, and treasure. And those are gifts from God. God gave us time, God gave us talents, God gave us treasure. And we should all be using those gifts toward building his kingdom, toward moving our culture towards God, right? So that is my purpose. That is my what do they, there's a French way of saying it. I'm trying to remember the French way of saying like your life's purpose. Not like joie de vivre, something like that. I don't know. Somebody in the chat, let me know what I'm trying to think of. Oh gosh, my computer's so dang slow. All right. Anyways, I think it's been like 10 years because it was before I even joined Comicsgate, which was 2018. Because I'd already at that time I was already working on Bless This Mess, and I started on Afar before Bless This Mess. I think that was maybe 2017. I started on Afar, so the journey of Afar was. Hang on one second. Let me just show. This isn't Afar I'm showing. I'm just going to show some. I want to show you guys, like, I have been purposing to continue working on the Lone Star universe. So, see, I'm not stopping. I have not given up. I've been working quietly in the background. So I'm still working. That's page 73. There's some spoilers in here, so maybe I don't want to show that. But here's some fighting. Here's Lone Star. Lone Star in action with it. There's a knife and a shield. Oh, that's a big spoiler spot right there. But that's page 66. Let's see if there's any. Let's see if some good. Here's a cool Lone Star shot. It's page 51. So yeah, I have not given up. I will fulfill Lone Star 3, and then I will move on to this project, which again, of 78 pages. It's a 144-page story. It's the best thing I've ever written. And we'll get there. So we will get there. I'm here to call out hypocrisy. CG wants to take my money and gamble on Red Atlantic City jokes on me, but you also take my money and call out CG taking my money while taking money. That's shame on you. Well, I promise you I will fulfill this unless I die. And I don't. Actually, if you could go look at my whole timeline, I'll make fun of certain things and certain people. I don't make fun of them for not fulfilling. because that would be totally hypocritical, because I have not yet fulfilled. Gush said it best. Fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times, won't be fool again. You mean Bush. Excelsior. Amen. What's up, Henry? Melissa? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, that's that. Let me go back to Afar and see when it was I did the first page of Afar. See, Afar is 180 pages. I'm always working, yo. Always working. Page 18, 19. All right, let's start. Let's just click on this one and see when. Does it have metadata? How do I find the metadata for when I... signature, watermark, save as, save for review, move, copy, delete, rename, star. Version history. No, that doesn't do it. Oh, wait, here we go. Hey, it's Joe. Where else are people watching? On Twitter and on Mike S. Miller Art, which is my rebranding of Blacklist Universe. Yeah, most people are watching on Twitter, actually. Half of you are on Cross Examinations, half of you are on Mike S. Miller Art. Okay, Far beginning added desktop. It doesn't give a date. Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. November 14th, 2015. I started this in 2015. 11 years in the making. And finally, I will be putting Afar out for... Actually, it's already out on Webtoon. If you want to go to Webtoon, Afar, you can go read it for free. Because, again, this is a ministry. So I want it to reach as many people as possible. All 180 pages are up on Webtoon if you want to go there. Here, I'll just click the link and copy paste it here. But the intention was for it to be like a little wordless Bible that you could share with your friends and family, or with perfect strangers. You could you could show it to kids and kind of, explain everything that's going on. You explain the gospel. It's a great gospel message delivery tool. So yeah, you can go read it on there. Give it a like or thumbs up, whatever you do on Webtoon. Check it out there. Here's I'll just click on one page here. So it's going to be printed Calvin and Hobbes style, where you've got 2 strips, 2 4-panel strips, and they're stacked on top of each other, and it's a sideways printed book. And we're going to have a really inexpensive version for the ministry side. And then I don't see any in the Twitter chat either. Well, nobody's chatting on Twitter. Nobody chats on Twitter. Except for you, Henry. Thank you. And other than that, you'll also be able... I'm not here to sell this book right now. This is Cross Examinations. I'm just here to motivate people. You've got talent, you've got time, you've got treasure. Use those for the purpose of building God's kingdom. However you can. And pray about it. Pray about it. You know how I came up with this creative Christian thing yesterday? I was praying about it. I was like, Lord, what do you want me to do with my channel? Like, how am I going to do something of consistent purpose on my YouTube channel so that people know what they get when they get there? And the words just creative Christian just popped into my head. That's how you can define me. Outside of being a father, you can define Mike Miller in 2 words. I'm a creative Christian. That's what I do. That's what I want people to focus on in their own lives. Behold the holes in my hands. Look at Hey. So, anyways, that's far. I don't want to spend the whole day showing off my artwork, but I do want to spend the whole day encouraging you guys to use your time, talent, and treasure in the building of the kingdom. I know this is an episode of Cross Examinations. Usually, I'm debating people or arguing stuff, but I thought it was important to direct people who are interested in this new path for my other channel. My primary channel has 14,000 subscribers, so hopefully I'll be able to reach some people who might not otherwise have heard this message there. I posted this also on Twitter last night, and it's gotten pretty good responses. It's like 22.7 thousand views. I would like to think, I think that's mostly because Jack Posobiec reposted it. So yeah, on my Twitter, I just put rebranding my channel, not Blacklist Universe anymore. Now it's Mike S. Miller Art, and it's dedicated to encouraging Christians to embrace their creativity and create things with their time, talent, and treasure. Regurgitating what I've been saying here. To build up our culture and the kingdom of God. Deus Vult. Do you know a hashtag creative Christian who needs inspiration? And then it's got 27 replies, 497 likes. 3 more of you, it'll be 500. Very nice. And 22.7 thousand views. So doing pretty good over there on the tweeters. Thank you, Jack. Every attempt I make at being creative gets ignored. Okay, you don't have to be... Who's a very popular creative person? You don't have to be Adam Hughes. You don't have to be Stephen King. You don't have to be the most popular. Look, the Afar, 180 pages. It's only got... Dang it. I have to go back to the thing. It's only got a couple thousand views. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's got 6,800 views. It's got 6,800 views, which, considering how long it took me to make that thing, it's not a lot, right? But it doesn't matter. I did this video yesterday. Yes, on I shared it on both channels. It just had a handful of views. I don't get a lot of views on my YouTube channel because I've kind of let it flounder for a long time. And a guy on Facebook reached out to me and he said, I follow you on X. And he was like super just encouraged me because I made a difference to one guy. You don't have to make a difference to 1 million people, right? To change the world, to build the kingdom. You can be the guy that makes 1 brick to add to the building, and you've helped build the kingdom. Henry, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's 12 people or 12,000 people watching you. If you've made a difference in one life, if you've encouraged one person, what more can you do? What more can you ask? That's, yeah, and Tina's always telling me, being encouraging towards me. Henry, hop over to YouTube with us. I learned that you were live on X, but I couldn't figure out how to live chat there. Oh, yeah, right. X live chatting is weird. Being creative for Christ is a ministry on so many levels. The consistent focus on God for inspiration strengthens you, and sharing your work with others increases opportunity for encouragement. Right. And it's not look, I know a lot of people, they can't afford to do this for a living, right? But it's a calling in all of our lives that we have to minister. We have to spread the gospel with our time, our talent, and our treasure. That's our job as Christians, right? Yes, this is on 2 different channels. It's on Cross Examinations and Mike S. Miller Art. In the chat, call out which channel you're on so everyone can know which one to go to if they want to chat in between each other. Great advice, Mike. I know I'm not an advice guru. I feel called. This has always been my calling, is to change culture with my gifts. That's been my vision. I need to sort of tap down it's like I can't change the whole world, but that doesn't mean that I can't make a difference, right? On my screen, it looks like they're both named Mike S. Miller Art. Mike S. Miller Art is that's my basic handle. That's me on X. That's me on Instagram. That's me on Facebook. Now that's me on YouTube. And that's me on, no, I guess that's it. Oh, that's my website. That's my website too. And Cross Examinations is my specifically Christian. Well, now I don't even need Cross Examinations as a channel if I'm going to be doing. Mike S. Miller Art is going to be my my creative Christian #creative Christian thing. So yeah, be encouraging, be encouraged, and be encouraging to others. Support other creative Christians. Promote other creative Christians. Be a creative Christian. We can all help build the kingdom together, right? There's more of us than there are of them, whoever them are. I just saw a breakdown of, okay, maybe not the whole world, but I just saw a breakdown of America, and it's like evangelicals and Catholics. I mean, we all want to build a kingdom, right? I think I can't remember what it was, but it was like 50% of the population or something. It was huge. It was a huge, huge chunk. Atheists were like 5. It's like nothing. I spend my time here arguing with atheists, and you guys are nothing. You guys are this much of the population. You're a rounding error in the population, atheists. Why we let them run everything? We're the majority. We should be running media. We should be running education. We should be running government. We're the majority. Why are we letting these atheist, socialist, heathen scumbags take control of our media? But that's how they push their agenda, is through media, through creativity. That's why I'm encouraging us. We're the majority. We should be the majority of creatives in this country and in the world. Dang it. What happened to Yahweh's 69 brothers and his mother and father, El and Asherah? Is Yahweh really the God of coppersmithing? What kind of powers does he have? Is Satan really a dragon like it says? Okay, first of all, that's all hogwash. If you're, I know what you're getting this from. It's from the Canaanite pantheon, which was not where Yahweh originated. Yahweh was not from Canaan. Yahweh as a god was added to that the list, I think, but it did not originate from the Canaanite pantheon. So no. And El was part of it, but El is just a generic name for God in what was the language that predates Hebrew? The language that predates Aramaic and Hebrew and all of those. Brain fart. If somebody knows in the chat, let me know. So no, that's not accurate. And is Satan really a dragon like it says? I don't think so. I think that is what do you call it? Poetic language. Doesn't the Bible mention the divine council? It does, but it's not talking about other gods, unless it's talking about the Trinity. But I'm pretty sure the divine council was a council of angels. Okay, it's a lot to unpack. But there's one of the rounding error atheists, I assume, right, Slug Racer? Desert Nomad, hail, what's up? Welcome. All right. One God in the Trinity, correct. That doesn't mean it can't be a council and a divine council, right? Let us make man in our image. That's the persons of the Trinity talking amongst themselves. Okay. Does anyone feel encouraged to get out there and start creating stuff? That's kind of my little pitch, right? Yes, just wanted to clarify the statement. Good. So yeah, my pitch isn't that deep and that involved. I just, I've spent my entire life being a creative ever since I was a kid, and since I became a Christian, I've been wanting to use that towards God's ends, and I have tried to equip myself when I'm doing secular work as a Christian. I mean, you guys know I did, the Game of Thrones books, the Hedge Knight books. Now the best show on TV, and it was really funny because George R.R. Martin, he knew I was a Christian. I was very, very open with him about it. Obviously, I never hide it. I never hide my Christianity under a bushel. I've lost jobs because of it, but who cares? But when George came back to me with, they finally had a deal for A Song of Ice and Fire to be done as a comic book, and he came to me and he called me, and he's like, hey Mike, I got good news, but I also have a question. He's like, we got a publisher for a Game of Thrones, and it's your book. You're the artist. Because I've been working with him since 2003, since long before HBO came crawling. And he said, but I have some questions for you, because I know you're a Christian. I know you're a devout Christian. Hedge Knight is really very, I keep doing George's voice. Hedge Knight is very PG, right? It's very, HBO obviously took it and added some stupid stuff they didn't need to make it rated R. But Hedge Knight was very PG. He said, and Game of Thrones has a lot of stuff, and it's got a lot of violence in it. It's got nudity. And I'm like, well, violence I don't have a problem with. There's violence all over the Bible. And he's like, well, there's nude scenes and stuff. And I'm like, I can be very artistic in depicting nude scenes so that you don't see anything, That's what shadows and long hair and all that kind of stuff is for. Okay. And he's like, well, there's also homosexual characters. And he was just so blunt about it. I'm like, yeah, George, we're like 5 books in now, and there have only been suggestions that Renly and Loras are gay. And he's like, well, later on there might be more obvious overtones to that end. And I'm like, if I can get 5 books into that, would take me decades. I would die working on these books because it would have taken so long. I'm like, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but that won't be for a really, really long time. And he's like, okay, I just want to make sure that this wasn't difficult for you as a Christian. I'm like, no, dude, the books are not the HBO show. So that's me being very clearly aligned with a set of morals, and George understanding that, look, there's lines I'm not going to cross, but he still wanted to work with me because, we worked together so well. And he, even though he knew my faith, and even though he knew HBO was going in this way rated R direction, he knew that I would be able to do the Game of Thrones artwork in a way that did not betray my ethics, my faith. And so it's like, to me, that's being a Christian in the secular job world, right? Where it's like, I'm not going to respect. Yeah, that's cool that he respected you and your faith, right? Right. And I mean, it sucks when you have a workplace that doesn't respect, or a boss that doesn't respect your faith. But look, there's a billion bosses out there. There's only one God. Don't fear the one who can steal your paycheck. Fear the one who can destroy your soul, right? My issue is I can't focus on one idea. Currently, I have like 5 ideas, and I can't keep them straight. Oh, bro, you know how many story ideas? I get a story idea. I write it down, and I put it in my file. And it's the one that kind of, if I have one that just sticks in my head and it's like, I just have to work on this, then I'll just sit down and I'll bang that one out. And like I said, I started Afar in 2015. It's only this year that it's going to be become available. Well, all right, it's available on Webtoon. You know, it's a funny story. Hey, what's up, Matt Barr? It's a funny story about Afar because, like I said, I started in 2015. I had a manager, I guess I still do, and a literary agent, and I showed them Afar. I was like, "Do you think we can, get this published?" Back in 2015, I was like halfway through the Gospels, and they had a little chat about it, and they loved how it looked because it was like so Calvin and Hobbes. And then they came back to me and they're like, is it possible for you to do something that's like this, but is for the general marketplace, right? Because I wanted to get into cartooning, because if you get a syndicated comic strip and it's syndicated in enough newspapers, I mean, you that's gold. And so, but the problem is that most syndicated comic strips, they want a year's worth of strips before they will look at your project. So you need 365 strips to submit it to the Los Angeles Times or the New York Times or the Mercury, the San Jose Mercury, whatever it is. You need 360. That's a lot of work. So anyways, I sat down and I started doing it, and I did a book called Bless This, or I did a strip called Bless This Mess. It did get syndicated in Europe because they don't have such stringent things. But I ended up doing 200 strips for that. And then I joined Comicsgate. And that kind of, it was like I did so well on my first Lone Star book that I just kind of like, I was getting these little syndication checks from Europe, but it wasn't enough to pay my bills. And the Lone Star crowdfunding was paying way more. So I just kind of like dropped it after 200 strips. I kind of wish I had kept doing it, because if you read any of Bless This Mess was so cute and so fun. And it's amazing because most of it is based on my stories or stuff that's happened in the house. So it's like a memory book. I can go back and read the Bless This Mess strips, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do you remember when Micah did this? Oh my gosh, do you remember when Isaac did this? Oh my gosh, do you remember when Elijah did this? And it's all. So I somehow or another, I'd like to make Bless This Mess available too. It is so fun. Everybody that reads it loves it. So, It's a tool for managing branching dialogue, general game logic. I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's a heck of a lot of work. Yeah, it is. Can you imagine? Can you imagine doing 365 strips of a comic book? Well, I guess that's the thing, right? It's like sit down and do it anyways. And nowadays you can put it up on Webtoon, and it's actually I do have it up on Webtoon, but I lost. Let me look for it. I lost my Bless This Mess. Believe it or not, I lost my login. Oh my gosh, that had way more views even than my FR thing. So I lost my login for this account for Webtoon. So I have no idea. I have no idea. The series is waiting content rating assessment from its creator. May contain adult themes. Proceed. Yeah, adult themes. Look how adult the themes are. So this is all stuff that happened to me. Oh my gosh, it's such funny. BlessThisMessComic.net by Lincoln Miller. Please like and subscribe. This had 12,000 views. Anyways, I wish I'd have kept doing that. Maybe it would have gotten syndicated in America. And today I'd be doing Bless This Mess about my grandchildren who haven't really done anything yet, but you know. Actually, no, that's not true. My oldest grandchild is at that age where he's doing funny stuff. How is that comic age restricted? I have no idea. I have no clue. No, I can't imagine. Sometimes it takes me a week to color a picture with colored pencils. Well, do it anyways. I loved what you showed us of Bless This Mess. Yeah, you can see the pages. There's like 30 pages up on Webtoons. Here, I'll just copy and paste that too. If anybody wants to take a look at that. But yeah, I've got 200 pages of Bless This Mess. I'd love to print that too. Unfortunately, it didn't reach its funding goal when I tried to do it on Kickstarter a few years ago, and I got a lot of crap for that. From people who just like to mock and deride, but whatever. That's a good point. I have so many focuses I love to dabble in: a period piece hero, classic space adventure, super dad, and a young adult street hero. Depends on my media at the time. Yeah, I had this idea called Baby Saves the World back when my oldest, who's now married to children, was a toddler. It's a cute little idea. I don't know if I want to share it here. Should I share it here? Someone might steal it, but it's called Baby Saves the World, and it's basically a toddler gets the Infinity Gauntlet. and is Bless This Mess still a Facebook page with most of its strips posted? I don't know if it's still on Facebook, because for a long time I wasn't on Facebook. Let's go look. I got kicked off of Facebook for being me. And let's see. What's this mess? Comic. Oh, no. I just see links to it to Mike S. Miller. They must have taken it down. Dang, man. Yeah, that had all the strips. I still have them all on my Dropbox. But it looks like they took the Facebook page down. That sucks. Whatever. Dang, 2015. That's crazy. It was the end of 2015. Yikes! Does the universe turn into candy? No, but I mean, I'm going to just truncate it to that, right? It's a toddler with the Infinity Gauntlet, and like I said, I came up with this idea back when my oldest was a toddler, and now that he's got a toddler, that idea is like coming back to my mind. So I'm like, I wonder if I should actually bang this one out. I could do it in a comic strip version. That would be much easier. March Harris says, I was one of the backers of Bless This Mess. I'm sure you knew that, but it's legitimately a cool project and not just because it was something you did. Oh, thank you. It is very, I mean, it's fun. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done, and it's probably because it's about my family. But again, it's like, look, you get an idea, run with it. Even if it just sits there on Webtoon, you know, you're creating and putting positive, God-centered stuff out into the world. Again, there's times where you're going to be just representing Christ as a worker on a secular project. But there are times like someone commented that they love my work on the Circle series. I don't know if you guys know what the Circle series is, but I've done plenty of Christian content where I worked on the Circle series with Ted Decker, who is a very popular, gosh, my focus is all jacked, who's a popular Christian author. And so I did the book White, and I edited Black and Red. And someone was like, oh, I always loved your work on the Circle series. I'm like, wow, that's been a long time since anyone's ever even mentioned that. But I wrote and drew a good chunk of Hand of the Morning Star. I had a label at Alias Comics called Cross Culture. Cross Culture Comics. And in the divorce with Alias, when we shut that down, I let Brett Berner have all the Christian content stuff that we did, just because we wanted to separate our content. So I got all what became my Abacus Comics stuff, and then he got all the Christian content stuff, and I don't know what he's done with it. Honestly, really inspired by that new old Ultimate Spider-Man. But good Lord, they screwed it up by putting in that universe, wanting to do something that's focused on a hero in my state and lore. Well, do it. Yeah, look at all the crazy obscure stuff that ends up going viral. So you never know what's going to resonate with people. Right. Also, again, you don't have to reach the whole world. It's like witnessing. It's like you witness to one person at a time, right? You don't have to be a preacher at church to make a difference in somebody's life. It's the same thing with your art, with your music, with your writing, with your creative, whatever. If your creation touches one life, it's like you're using your gifts as a ministry, as a witness. And maybe you're only witnessing to one guy. You know what's funny about me? I've been more or less an apologist and a Christian, and online and debating with people and putting forth the gospel and all that stuff since 1996. Oh my gosh. It's been 40 years now. 96. Is that 30 years? 30 years now. It's been 30 years. I've only ever, outside of my family, I've only ever I don't say brought people to the Lord. I've only ever given 2 kids the sinner's prayer invitation. And it was because the pastor, I was in youth group, and the youth group leader pastor gave the invitation and said, go talk to a leader if you wanted to pray the sinner's prayer. That's it. I'm a waterer, or no, God's the waterer. I'm a planter, right? I'm not a reaper. We all play our roles. 30 years, and you guys have seen me, defend the faith and proclaim the faith and give the gospel and do all that stuff for 8-9 years here on YouTube, right? I'm not a reaper. I'm not the one out there collecting the souls for Jesus. I'm dropping seeds, and oh no, I can water. God gives growth. We can drop seeds, we can water, God gives the growth. And then some. I'm not a reaper, clearly. If you want to accept Christ, you could ask me. Get into heaven free, ask me how. That's fine. But we all play different roles, and we don't have to have an audience of 10,000 people. We can have an audience of 1 if we're making a difference. And if that difference doesn't have to be I brought someone to the Lord. That difference can be that I said something to someone, I drew something that affected somebody, I wrote something that affected somebody, and down the road in their walk of faith, that strengthened them to be able to defend their faith, or that helped them to come to the realization that there is a God, that that just moved the goalpost for them. It just made a difference. It doesn't have to be, I brought 10,000 people to the Lord. It's like, no, I helped 10 people along their path walk the straight and narrow. Narrow is the path that leadeth unto righteousness. Broad is the path that leadeth to destruction. That's what I'm trying to figure out, what my purpose is. I'm not learned enough to minister, but I do want to do my part. Well, your life is a ministry, right? So, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And that's your ministry. You can get deeper than that. You can get more knowledgeable. And I think, that helps when people are having intellectual, problems with coming to faith. But really, I think people being loved into the faith works much better than what I do. Right? I love arguing. I love debating. And I don't know, maybe that's, I think it helps. I know I've been told it has helped people. And I've helped people, guide people into, I don't want to say the righteous path, but do you know that the Underworld series wouldn't exist without me? Is that a strange thing to hear? But like I told you, I've been doing this since 1996, right? Because I was on the AOL message boards. I was on the AOL message boards back then. The comic boards and the atheist boards and the John Burns burn victims, which, by the way, I'm the one that told him, John Burns, burn victim, or me and my friend are burn victims. Oh, Tina, your dad's the same age as my mom, except she'll be 86 this year. Happy birthday to your dad. So, I guess back then, in those days when I was on the AOL message boards, a young upstart would-be writer named Kevin Grievous asked me if it was okay to write fiction. He was coming to me like I was some moral authority on creating. He said, because fiction is a lie, right? Fiction isn't a truth. And I said, well, Jesus told stories, and the truth of the story was the message, right? The parables were telling a deeper truth than the tale that it has been told. The things that happen in the tale may not have happened, but the message of the tale is the truth. So no, it's not a sin to write fictional stories, right? And I didn't even think, I don't even remember the conversation. Kevin comes up to me at a con years later and introduces himself. And this is after Underworld had come out. And he told me, he's like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have written Underworld. I'm like, what? He's like, and then he related that story about being on the AOL message boards. At the time, well, who was I? I was just a professional comic book artist who was proclaiming Christ on AOL. And because of that, Kevin wrote Underworld. He felt encouraged to, and that's why I'm trying to encourage people today. Maybe you'll be the next Kevin Grievous, and you'll just be this, young upstart with an idea, and you want to write a story with a Christian worldview. Now, I grant you, what they turned Underworld into wasn't exactly the Christian worldview that Kevin had originally written. I don't want to get into all the drama of him getting ripped off from that series, from that story and series. But I made a difference that made a difference in somebody launching an entire career as a filmmaker, right? So I'm encouraging that you, and Kevin was nobody at the time. I don't want to say nobody, but he'd never published anything. And he always says, well, you got to give your first one away. And it's like, no, bro, you got ripped off. But anyways, that's still his mentality. It's like, he's like, get your foot in the door, however you can. I'm roboting. I'm sorry. But just do it. Just do it. Make your stories, make your art, make your music, whatever it is. If you're doing it and you're doing it with the right purpose in your heart, it'll really. Is anybody else roboting, or is it just Mark Chair? X-Rider. Okay, so I wasn't just roboting. Good. Just do it. I encourage you. Be a Christian creative and encourage other Christian creatives and support other Christian creatives. Let's there are more of us than there are of them. I'm gonna keep saying that. There's so many more of us than there are of them. We should own this entire creative space. X-Rider says, I've been struggling with purpose and what to do with my art. This live stream today is a real help. Awesome. Thank you for telling me that, because that's what I need. I need encouragement from you guys as much as I'm trying to encourage you guys. I just want us to spread the word, right? That we can do so much better as creatives with a Christian worldview. And we can all together fundamentally change the direction of media in this country, right? We are the most people, which means we have the most percentage-wise. I don't know if it's percentage-wise, but just because there's so many of us, we have to have the most creative people in all the creative aspects of creativity itself, right? Which also means we have the most people, we have the most families, we have the most children, we have the most money, so we have the most resources. It doesn't make sense that we're not running the freaking running the show on media and creativity. I think Christians have let the secularist Satanist pedophiles run media and education and everything for so long that we just like, oh, I don't want to take part in that. I don't want to take part in that. We shouldn't be taking part in that. We should be running it. You know, when Christians used to run the media, we made great movies. We made Ben-Hur. We made Gone with the Wind. We made the Ten Commandments. I don't want to just do the Cecil B. DeMille stuff, but we made His Girl Friday and all the old classic Disney. Hollywood and media, we made His Girl Friday. Oh, I said that. Make Room for Daddy. Leave It to Beaver. Oh my gosh. When we ran media, this country was so much a better place. Somehow or another, we've let the leftists get their creepy, crawly tendrils into everything and just control it all. There's more of us than there are of them. Why are we letting them do this? It's insane. We know why. We're in the beast system. We're bigger than the beast. God is bigger than the beast. America doesn't have to collapse, Vlad. We just need to wrest all of this power away from them. And we need to do that by encouraging our Christian brothers and sisters with their time, talent, and treasure to be creative, to support creative. And I don't just mean, you know, it's still a free market. So yes, I want everyone to be creative and to be supportive, but also the cream should rise to the top. We need to create stuff that is going to be ultimately overpowering of the beast culture. The beast culture versus Christ culture. I think that's the important message. It's like, yeah. I don't know. I'm encouraged. There, just by the sheer numbers of us. And this is ecumenical. I don't care what kind of Christian you are. I do as far as doctrine, but I don't as far as changing the culture. We all want to move the culture towards Christ. So I don't care if you're Presbyterian. I don't even care if you're a Methodist. Well, if you're a liberal Methodist, then go away. But if you're, Catholic, Orthodox, Protestant, doesn't matter. Put your time, talent, and treasure to work toward building the kingdom. Support people that are creative. Create for people to support. Just do something. Don't just sit there and be hopeless about it. And don't also, just to reiterate, don't worry about if your audience is 12 people. How many people are watching you right now? I got 7 people on cross examinations, 10 people on Micah Miller. That's 17 people. I'm not counting Twitter. I should, if I counted Twitter, because Twitter's counts weird. I don't care if it's a dozen people. I don't care if it's 5 people. You're witnessing with your talent, with your gifts, right? Some of you, you're too busy to do that, but you have treasure. Support the people who are creating. Share out your we live in a social media world. Attention is economy. So share out stuff that you find from other Christian creatives. Hashtag Christian creative, right? Creative Christian. Yeah, creative Christian. Hashtag creative Christian, right? And encourage other people to be and to use their time, talent, and treasure. And pray. That's right, Amy. And pray. I mean, Melissa. Sorry. It's a tiny group, but a loyal group. A passionate, creative group. Right. You've been away for a bit. Hopefully it will draw more people in. Pun intended. Ba-dum-bum. I'm tempted to post my work for free, at least the black and white ink version when I reach that stage. Do it. Do it. Look, there's if you want to do comics, just post it on Webtoon. The purpose is to reach people, right? And if you build up an audience on Webtoon because it's good content, then the purpose is done. If it becomes popular, because the purpose is to reach people. The purpose is to touch people. Okay, not touch people, but you know what I'm saying, right? That you don't have to make money doing that. You don't have to get rich doing that. But if it does get popular, then that's just a bonus. If whatever you do strikes a chord with enough people that they're demanding that you make a printing of it, then do that. And there's also digital printing. So if you can set it up so if you have a small amount of people who want a digital or a physical copy of it, they can have it digitally printed. It's really, there's so many options these days to make stuff in furtherance of the kingdom. We should have a glut. We should have an absolute glut of Christian worldview content out there in the world, and I keep saying touching because it's touching. But anyways, yes, and pray more. What's the saying? When two or more gather, God is with us. Absolutely right. I'll be doing another stream shortly where I'm going to be working. It won't be a cross-examinations, and I know this is a weird cross-examinations, but this is what I'm purpose for in my direction right now. So I'll be doing another one where I'm going to continue working on my X-Men drawing from yesterday. I'm this far in, so it's getting there, but I'll be doing a camera down view of this where I'll be drawing, and I'll be taking questions in the chat. So come back a little later. I got to go do some exercise and take some pills. Stroke, right? Working out the stroke. And this is me working out my tongue so that I can get back to speaking normally. I know I did pretty good today. I'm not tired, so my tongue isn't like. Anyways, I quite enjoyed this format. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Stop touching people. I know, right? Weird. Hello. All right. God bless you all. We'll see you on the next exciting episode of Cross Examinations.